Okay, hello people, we're back again. 100%. Okay, okay, let's begin with let's start. There's no need wasting time. Let's just start. So the first story says, I saw something in white walking around and making some incantations. If you're from Africa, you know what incantations are. So all the hairs in my body stood. For a second, I thought it was a spirit. I was now hoping it was armed robbers instead of spirits. I started praying quietly so I wouldn't anger the spirit until she passed again. And at that moment, the NEPA brought light. If you're in Nigeria, you know what NEPA is. As she got to the window and I saw her, it was my neighbor, Morayo. She continued her walk till 7 a.m. that morning. Later that day, I asked her why she was walking around the compound so early. She just laughed and said she was working out. You're working out, you didn't go to the gym? And she said, in this economy. Then she said it's too expensive, and besides, she doesn't want to have man body by carrying weights. Then I told her to jog outside, and she said jogging outside is too scary. She said, besides, she wasn't jogging but walking. I left the conversation there. The next day, something happened. This time around, she will be mumbling some incantations and walking around. Then my girlfriend was around and she said it was tongues, not incantations. She also said she wouldn't be intimate with me again because she feels guilty because of the speaking in tongues. So she feels like she's fornicating and she decided not to get intimate in the morning. So she cannot fornicate with someone praying outside her window. And I'm like, that's how I was denied early morning sex, and you know how sweet early morning sex is, according to the writer. But seriously, who prays and walks around in circles in the dark? Me, I'm a light sleeper, and her early workout stresses me, but not letting by now letting me sleep and also scares me. What if she's putting charms around the house and the whole compound? I thought I was overthinking it until one of the guys in our compound dropped a video in our private men's group chat. He said he doesn't find it okay and had to video her. He has chatted her up, but she refused to stop. What if she's planting charms or doing juju? He said, Shebi, that's how Joshua brought down the walls of Jericho by marching round. What if she's trying to bring our destinies down spiritually? One said, thank God he's upstairs, so she's not close to his window. At this point, I realized being older and married doesn't mean you're intelligent. I be wise. We got a dead rat, a red agama lizard, and a black calabash. Then the Yahoo boys upstairs gave us red paint too, just for extra effect. Later that night, we waited for her to go to bed. As soon as she locked her door, we dropped them in front of her door. At 5 a.m. sharp, we heard a loud scream followed by Jesus, 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 then loud tongues. Nobody came out. Those that weren't part of the plan were scared, thinking it was robbery, so they were relocking their doors and turning off their lights. Those of us that knew waited so she can suffer small. After a while, I came out and she was still screaming in her room, crying and shouting and asking for help. I went to her window and asked what happened. She screamed that there is charm outside. Somebody dropped charm in front of her house. I pretended to be shocked, then I started praying too and speaking in tongues as I picked them and went to trash them. It's fine, you can walk. She said no, she's fine. She will walk out inside her room. For the next 48 hours, she didn't come out of her room. On the third day, she finally came out and moved a few of her things to a friend's place. She has now packed out of the house. All of us can now sleep in peace, and me too can enjoy my early morning sex in peace. This writer is crazy. This writer is crazy. Well, I hope you enjoyed the story. Let's move on to another one. All right. Let's move on to another story. If you're joining me now, you're welcome. Let us continue. We are telling you stories, real life things happening around the world. Okay. Okay, now this one is sweet. This one said the title of this particular one is My Wife Stopped Cooking, Cleaning, Ironing because I had an affair. She asked her mother to stop helping me. So yeah, this is the next story we are going to be reading out to you. Let me know if you like it and then if it's something you want us to tell. So it says, I had I had an affair. I'm not proud of it. I was careless and I hurt my wife badly. When she found out, I apologized. I begged. I told her it meant nothing. I said it was a mistake. She didn't leave me, but she changed. Something in her just shut down. She told me she would stay in the house, but she was done doing wife duties. She stopped cooking. At first, I thought she was just angry and would get over it, but it's been 3 months now and nothing has changed. I eat only gala, bole, and noodles now, sometimes just plain bread. I'm losing weight. My belt doesn't fit like before. My colleagues at work sometimes My colleagues at work even asked if I am sick. They felt bad for me. Her mother came to visit and tried to talk to her. She told her to forgive and move on, but my wife told her that she is not a maid, that if I want food, I should cook it myself. She also stopped ironing my clothes. Every morning, I struggle to find something decent to wear. I have stopped wearing white shirts because they are too wrinkled and I can't iron properly. The worst part was when she forgot to pick up our child from school. The school called me after hours. I rushed there and found our daughter sitting alone. My wife said, my wife said she just forgot, all because I had an affair. I didn't even know what to say. She's not the same woman I married. I apologized to her. The whole house is dull, dirty, and I can't function properly without her. My mother offered to help clean and cook. Her mother made me amala and a wedu. I thank God for it. Her mother cleaned the whole house, arranged our room, cleaned everywhere. She asked her to leave. I heard them shouting at each other. She told her mother if her mother wants to marry me, she should say so. Now I'm back to bread and fast foods again. Please help me. So, do you have anything we should say to this guy? This person is asking for our help. So, do you have anything you want us to say to him? Is there a way we can help him? He cheated on the wife. The wife shut down. The wife is not cooking anymore. She's not cleaning anymore. And she's not the same as she used to be. So, he's asking for our help. So, is there anything you think we should say to this man, or we should go over to the next story? So if there's anything you want us to say, please type it here. I will be replying to you. But for now, let me move on to another story. Okay, so on to the next story. I am still here waiting for your reply. People are doing crazy things, Sha. People are doing crazy things. I just saw this one, and I think I'm going to read this one. So if you have any story that you want me to read also, I'm going to let you know how you can contact me so that you will send me the story, and maybe in my next live I'm going to read your story. Okay, so the title of this one is I have slept with two of my fiance's friends years ago though. Should I tell him first? Okay, this story is coming from a woman who has slept with two of her fiance's friends, and she's wondering if she should let her fiance know about this or not. So let's read it out. So she said, I recently met five of my fiance's close friends for the first time. It was a casual hangout and everything seemed fine at first. But as soon as I saw them, my heart dropped a bit because I had a past with two of them. Nothing serious, just sex before I ever met my fiance. I didn't expect to ever see them again, and I definitely didn't know they were his friends. One of them was polite and mature about it. He greeted me normally and kept things respectful. But the other one kept smiling at me in a way that made me uncomfortable. And later that day, he started liking a bunch of my pictures on social media. Now I feel like I'm carrying a heavy secret. I don't know. I feel like I'm carrying a heavy secret. I don't know if I should tell my fiance or just leave it alone since it happened before I met him. I love this man deeply. He moved in from America to be with me, and he's been nothing but supportive, generous, and caring. He treats me better than anyone ever has, and I truly see a future with him. That's why I feel so bad. I don't want to lose him over something that no longer means anything to me. He dropped a car in my house that I have been driving. He's so free and generous. I keep asking myself what the right thing is. On one hand, I believe in honesty, but on the other, I worry it will just cause unnecessary pain. I also don't want his friends to be the one to say something first or act out of line. That would make everything worse. I know I'm not that girl anymore. My past is my past. I've grown, changed, and found real love. But I wonder if keeping quiet is protecting my future or lying by omission. All I know is that this man means the world to me, and I don't want to do anything that could mess up what we are building. I just don't know what he would think or if he'd understand. I feel like I have so much to lose. So, what do we say to her? If you were in this situation, what would you do? Are you going to tell your fiance that you've had intimacy with two of his friends in the past, or you're just going to let it be? I don't know. If I were in her shoes, I wouldn't pretend about it, and I wouldn't. So if it's going to be, then it's going to be, rather than keep secrets, because if he finds out, he's going to be mad. He's going to be so angry that you kept something like that from him. So rather than pretend about it, rather than pretend that you don't know these guys, simply tell him. These your friends? Okay, I know them. We go way back. And he's like, okay, how do you know them? We just go way back. Has anything happened between you all? And you're like, yeah, there was a time, but it was nothing serious. So if he wants to believe you and he wants to move ahead, then he loves you and all that. But if he wants to call it quits, then he can. So there is no point in lying. There's no point in lying, or there is no point in keeping it a secret. Just let him know. Let him know. It is better to let him know, because if he finds out from your friends, it might be bad for you. Okay, we have another story. This one is coming from a divorcee. Okay. Hello, you're welcome. You're welcome. Take a seat, relax, and listen to our story as you join us. Take a seat. As you join us, take a seat and relax. If you have a drink, keep it beside you. If you have popcorn, yeah, keep your popcorn beside you and keep listening to the story. So my husband won't let me move on. I have changed my numbers, but I think he hacked my email. I am so tired. This is our next story. This is going to be like juicy. This is a sweet one. All right. So this one is coming from a divorcee. You know how stressful divorce can be. So she said, my husband and I separated a few years ago. We just couldn't make it work anymore. We have a child together and we agreed to share custody. At first, we tried to stay friendly, especially for the sake of our child. But every time he hears I'm seeing someone new, he finds a way to show up in my life again and try to scatter everything. Why are they always like this? Why? He acts like he wants me back or like he's trying to protect our child, but it always gets messy. I even allowed him have sex with me once. Maybe he will change. Things go worse. He does things that make it hard for me to move on. When I start dating someone, he somehow finds out who it is and then he contacts them. He sends messages, even pictures, minute to these men. Sometimes he tells them things about my past that I didn't share yet, or just makes things up. He once told someone I had HIV and that man never called me again. That one really hurt. I was starting to think he might be someone real, someone kind. He even threatens them. The worst part is that he uses our child against me. There was a time a while back when I had a bit too much to drink and I drove with our child in the car. I know it was a mistake, a terrible one, but nothing happened, thank God. He found out and made the police settle it, just kept the evidence. I don't know how he got my police reports, even though we live abroad. Now, whenever he hears I'm dating, he brings it up and threatens to go to court to take our child away permanently. Because of him, I've lost some genuinely good men. They get scared of. Some think I have too much drama. Some believe the lies he tells. And some just don't want to deal with the constant harassment. I feel stuck. Every time I think I'm ready to build something new, he finds a way to destroy it. He knows exactly how to use our child to make me stop. Or sometimes I wonder if I should just leave my child with him and go live my life somewhere else. Maybe then he will stop. But that thought breaks my heart. I love my child, but I'm tired. I want peace and I want love. I don't know if I can have both with him. What is this in my house? If I can have both with him, still holding this much power over my life. The only thing he can control me with is our child. I have been thinking I want to leave our child with him and come to Nigeria. Should I leave my child? Well, if you can leave your child, then it's fine. You're the only person who should answer that, who should be able to answer that. You know the kind of man your ex-husband is. So if you feel comfortable leaving your child with him, then it's all good. It is only you who holds the answer to that question. Okay? Alright, so let's look for another story. Hmm. Story, story. I got a story, story. I got a story. It's a story, story, story. Yeah. Story, story, story. Yeah. Please, if you have a story you want us to share, I will send you um my Instagram handle so that you can drop it there. I don't like using my mail, so I'll just send you my Instagram handle so that you will drop your story in my DM and I will share it on my next live. What did I just see? Wait, wait, wait. No, 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 no. What is this? He said, she's pregnant for me, but she's very ugly. I want her to abort and set me free. I don't want my child to look like her. God forbid. This is not funny. No, this is not funny. What is this? How are people? Okay, okay. You don't want your child to look like her, but you had the guts to fuck her without protection, and now she's pregnant, and you know she's ugly. Oh God! So people can be so paranoid. Okay, so let us read this story. Okay, he said, I'm into some issues now. One girl in my department, we usually have sex. I don't um I don't speak with her in public. Now she said she's pregnant for me, but I'm not happy because she's not beautiful at all. I believe it's not for me. I usually ask her to wear wigs or off the lights whenever we are getting intimate, but her body is fine. I don't want her to have my child. I'm not handsome myself, but she's not beautiful at all. Me and her combo. Okay, you're ugly, you're not handsome, you're ugly, and she's not beautiful too. I mean, she's ugly, and the both of you are expecting a child, and that is what you don't want because you don't want your child to be ugly. This is crazy. Okay, very funny. Me and her combo, very ugly. Our child will be very ugly and bullied. That ugliness will come from her own side. Me, I am okay. Her nose is so wide. Why are people like this? Her nose is so wide. People make fun of her nose on campus. They say, why didn't she smell the lecturer got me? Or why did she not smell we have tests that day? Before school resumes, I don't want to be a father. Please advise me. People are crazy. You're sleeping with somebody you say is ugly and you expect her not to get pregnant. Now she's pregnant, you want her to terminate it because she's not fine enough, and apparently you don't want to have ugly babies. You're paranoid. Okay, okay. I just found another one. I just found another one. So let's read this one. Okay, so this one says, my pastor controls my whole house. If he says don't eat meat on Wednesday, my wife will carry all the meat in the fridge and give it to the dog. She prays with him every morning before talking to me. One time I told her to stop and she said, "You don't have spiritual rank to instruct me." I was so shocked. Rank? In my house as the husband. I was just looking at her like it was a movie. This woman that used to kneel and serve me food before now gives our pastor more attention than me. Every little decision she must ask him. Even when I was sick, she told pastor before she called the doctor. One day, I came back home and she had burnt all her trousers in the wardrobe. I asked her what happened. She said pastor said she should stop wearing trousers. So since that day, she started wearing wrappers and skirts around the house. My wife normally likes trousers. She now says our son must go to the same secondary school pastor went to because it's anointed ground. Imagine. I still said no. Sometimes I wonder how deep this thing has gotten. She spends more time at the church than in the house. She used to work part-time, but now she said pastor told her to sow her time. Free labor. She cleans his house when pastor is having events and cooks there and calls it serving the Lord. Me, I just the look. But the part that has been disturbing me in my chest is this boy, our son. His nose is like pastor's. His ears, even the way he frowns, people say he looks like you and your pastor. You people have the same strong face, but it doesn't sit well with me. I've been thinking of doing DNA test, but I am scared, very scared. What if I found out the worst? What if I'm just the one paying school fees for another man's prophecy? I try to convince myself that it's just coincidence. After all, we both come from the same village. Maybe we just resemble small, but then again, when pastor holds my son, the boy behaves like he has met God. They have their own handshake. How can a 10-year-old have a handshake with a grown man? I haven't told anyone this, not my friends, not even my mother. I don't want shame to kill me, but this thing is eating me slowly. I don't know if it's better to know the truth or just live in peace with the lie. Because this pastor is not just in my house, he's in my head. Please advise me. I don't know who I am anymore. Oh, okay. What a story. What a story. Okay, so that is it for that story. I don't know, did you understand the story? Did you understand it? Should I go over to another story? Should I go over to another story? Yeah, so okay, so I have a question. What would you do if your fiance brings his ex-fiance to his bachelorette party and they wear the same color of outfit? What would you do? What do you think is going on? If your fiance brings his ex-fiance or his ex-girlfriend to his bachelor's party and bachelor's party, yeah, and they wear the same color of outfits, would you think anything is going on, or you're just going to say it's a normal thing? Tell me what you would do, please. Tell me what you would do. What would you do if your fiance brings his ex-girlfriend to his bachelor's party and they wear the same color of outfit, which is like a uniform? What would you do? Would you be angry? Would you be angry, or would you take it as if it's like it's normal? Do you think it's normal, or do you think there is something to be worried about? What would you do? What would you do if your fiance brings if your fiance brings his ex-girlfriend to his bachelor's party? What would you do? And they wear the same color of outfit. So would you get angry, or would you say it's normal? So this is the last story I'll be telling today, and I'll be ending this live so that I can go do other things. Okay, so let me get right into the video immediately. So um, she said, I'm so confused. We've been planning my wedding for almost a year. I handled most of the expenses. I bought my own wedding dress, paid 70% of the whole deposit, and even lent him 4 million for his business, which is the fiance. So she lent her fiance 4 million naira for his business expansion. I thought he was the one until his bachelor's party. My friend's brother attended secretly and sent me photos. My fiance was dancing with a woman in white lace with a veil. They cut a cake together and they were holding hands at his bachelor's party. Everybody else wore gold at the party and only him and the lady wore white. He didn't leave her side. Normally, men go to bachelor's party to misbehave, but he was by her side all through the night. She was feeding him cake. They would hold hands. I confronted him the next morning and he said it was just a prank, that she is his ex. And it is funny. Okay, so that she is his ex and whatever. And what again? Where was I? So I'm having a little bit of issues. Okay, and he blocked me. Okay, no. Okay, that she is his ex, and it was just cruise. I found the girl's page and DM'd her. She said, "Ask your man who I am," and she blocked me. What is this? That's what I said to myself. I did my own digging and I found out he used to date her and they were once engaged back in the UK. I found pictures of her on Facebook. Okay, I found pictures of them on Facebook. I asked him and he said she is just his friend and he's helping her with business. I gave him money to start business and he's starting business with his ex-girlfriend, who I never knew existed. My sister said that's his engagement party and I just don't know. I am so tired. Should I continue with this wedding? His family, mother, aunties are still saying we should continue. I have invested so much. I don't believe he can hurt me like this. My heart can't just believe it. See, auntie. Auntie way mumu. Hey God, that's the only thing I can say about this story. Yeah? That's the only. As I read this story now, this song is like playing in my head. But it's well. All right. So we've come to the end of this live section, and we'll continue this live some other time. Yeah, so for today we're done, and if you want to watch all the stories that I've told today, you will have to watch it after I've ended the live. Yeah, so my name is Lilian Azubuike, and do well to subscribe to my channel, like this video, and share it to people who are interested in listening to stories that happen in the real life. Yeah, this is sometimes you can have people who are going through a situation that is similar to yours, but maybe because you've not come across it, or maybe because you've not heard it anywhere, you think you're alone. But I am now bringing these stories to you all so that you will listen to them and know that, okay, these things are not happening to only you, but they are also happening to somebody else. Yeah, so we are done with today's live, and I will see you next time. Why is Brian calling me now?